Hi, friends. Hi, everyone. So I wanted to share a neat little strategy that I've just come across on my own, I guess, to get answers, clear-cut answers from the higher self. So we've know of channeling, trying to kind of reach the higher dimensions. Just from experience, that's like the hardest one to do, the messiest one, because you're trying to channel to higher dimensions beyond the fourth, which there is always interference. And sometimes if you go to even beyond that, there's going to be interference from other beings who, um, in fifth or higher dimensions, but they're not always there for your best interest. So I always found channeling to be like the messiest one. Um, since my awakening, I've been just directing my questions to the heart directly. Um, and that one gives me often a better explanation, whether it's using words, sometimes it's just symbolic imagery, sometimes it's past life imagery about anything. You just again just you just quiet your mind and then I just say dear heart and you ask a question. But another way, another tool is yes no questions by writing down your question. And why I think it's also really helpful is a lot of times, at least I've noticed for myself, I have a hard time figuring out what is my actual question because I can get so many questions and trying to figure out what exactly do I want to know, what exactly do I actually care about, and what's important, or like what's the real question here. And writing it down helps to organize your thoughts. And then yes, no questions helps to organize your thoughts even more. And it gives you a clear cut answer. So I will try to demonstrate through my whiteboard. So let's see, for example, I was just channeling and I was asking questions about the dinosaurs. So let's say, did the dinosaurs exist? And then I'll say yes or no. And let's say, and my hand will just automatically just like gravitate towards a particular is either a yes or no. And so let's see, maybe put a little bit um, more space between them if you're like not sure. So just make a little more space here. So you'll know exactly where your hand is gravitating, and I felt the pull to yes. So the dinosaurs existed. I was asking, is the story of the flood true the way it's written? So let's see. Yes or no. No, that's a hard no. Okay. So doing this with me showing it to you, of course you don't see me being pulled towards a particular answer. And it's even if you would physically see it, you might assume that I'm doing this, right? So you can only feel it. So you have to try it out on your own. I'm just giving another strategy out there that I just been doing. I've been just sometimes I'm bored and I have questions about because with these energy shifts, I've just all of a sudden had like a million questions. So I started writing it down. But it helps to like really format your thoughts because it was so chaotic this month in my mind what exactly do I actually want to know? What is important? So let's see. Um, da, 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 da. Like for example, so I have Instacart, and I've noticed with Instacart, sometimes the items go missing, and then I'm supposed to try to get a refund, but the companies no longer allow me to get refunds the way they have it set up. I have to email them each time. And so I just yesterday I made a purchase and some cheese was missing. That was like $10 worth. Um, and I asked my guys, did you cause this? And they said yes. And the reason why it's been happening like that is because I'm being taught to not worry about money. I've since early spring, the lesson been all the time about abundance and not worrying about money. So if when the item goes missing, let's say, I start worrying, oh my God, the first thing is about money, right? It's, oh my God, it was so much, $10. Why? It was like, why was it even $10? Because the initial price was 7, and so on and so forth. So they've been teaching so how let go of worry about money. So I asked them, are you making this happen? And they said yes. So you know, so it's just easier than channeling, I find, especially if you have like concrete questions to ask. So let me think. So for another question I was just asking about the Sodom and Gomorrah story, there is another channel, I forget what it's called, and there are some psychics talking about the story. And it's basically the message that I got is the same thing as the flood. That, okay, so Jews and Christians view it as punishment from God, but it's actually the other way. Well, it's punishment from the 4D beings who wanted earthlings to worship as gods. So the destruction happened like a annihilation event. So let me ask, did I explain that close to accurate? Maybe, not possible for me to be exactly because I wasn't there. So let's see. Yes. Okay. So there you go. Let's see. What else can I ask? I've been just dying to meet my twin flame. I mean, it's hurting me a lot. Let's see. Sometimes you won't get an answer, so chances are I won't. Let's see. Am I going to meet my twin? Okay, it's telling me not to write this even. I already felt the pull in my heart not to do it. All right. They don't want me to know. They don't want me to know anything about my twin flame. All right, okay. Am I going to have, seriously, nothing about the future, huh? Okay. Okay, what else can I ask here? Hmm. Okay. I don't really have, let me see what else I've written down here. It's like an example. Oh, good one about children. And I don't mean the children that are being rescued. I mean just children on a planet. I asked, are most okay, just pulled all children possessed? That's my question. Let's see. Yes. Okay. The reason why I asked that question was because I work with children and so I've noticed an increase in, well, I've been having demonic attacks for the past 2 years. I've definitely noticed an increase, like a really intense. And I've noticed it happening through the children I work with. Twice, I think 2 weeks ago, I felt like my energy force was being like sucked out of me. I was like sick the next day with a sore throat. And one child is possibly, chances are there's conversation already that that child is going to be diagnosed with autism. But the other one is just a regular boy. But it doesn't matter because like it's triggered, like working with children or my profession overall is triggering for me. Working with children is even more so. So it's interesting that people always say, it's draining to work with children. But if you consider if all children are vulnerable for possession from very beginning because they don't have a way to protect themselves, what's really draining? Who's draining? Let's see. Do, 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 do. Um, just okay. A funny one. There's still a lot of conspiracy theories, so let's see. Is Trump a reptile? Let's see. Is Trump a reptile? No. This is weird. I had a hard no last time, and this time, all right, let's rephrase that. Is Trump working for the light? I don't know why like that. Yes, okay. Um, let's see if there's, I'm writing quite a bit of questions. Get more stuff out. You can also do the same thing, like sometimes if you have a two choice, is it this way or this way? Your hand will also gravitate towards that word, doesn't really matter. I think the reason why this kind of strategy triggered is because I actually use these type of strategies in my speech therapy. It's a very common cognitive strategy. One, have very specific questions. I work a lot on yes, no questions, two choice questions with children, helps to organize the mind. So it just kind of like, hey, this is actually much simpler. Let me think of what other questions I want to share. I'm writing quite a bit. But nothing really. I just kind of wanted to share some things that a lot of people ask that I see in groups. But I hope this was helpful. And seemed like a lot of people have questions. I had questions, and it was I wrote down like 13 just big questions that had mini questions. Part of that So it just kind of helps to organize your mind so you know exactly like what matters to you for that moment, for any given moment. Like just so you're working, okay, what do I need to do now? Um, let's see, simple stuff. Past month I've had really difficulty with food, so I don't I a lot of times I can't even tell right now if I'm hungry. Like my gut has been cleansed out for the whole month now, and the only way I can tell I'm hungry is I start feeling lightheaded and weak, and then I ask my higher self, they're like, "Yeah, you're pretty hungry," but then I can't tolerate most foods. So let's see, am I hungry? So like I have to ask my higher self because there's a disconnect right now because I'm being cleansed out. Yes, I feel pretty full, so that I can't even tell. That's weird. Um, and so that strategies would be helpful for me because I can feel lightheaded and start feeling sick, but not feel hungry. Like that message is not going through. So checking in with my higher self is it's really important all the time. Let's see. What else can I ask? Um, so this past month, again, we had really intense energy. So I asked, is this the solar flare event everyone is talking about? Do it this way, yes or no? No. I kind of thought I would be done with it already. Ah, okay, no, it's not. Yikes. There's more to come. Um, okay. Well, I just wanted to share this strategy and yeah, see if it works for you. Take care. Bye-bye.